There we go.
Oh, right. Both controllers in. Power you want.
Yeah, I've chucked one controller in the front.
Test, test, 1, 2.
So we don't need this,
Can't
no?
connect to
You guys hear me in the back?
Will do.
So when we
You guys
so
hear me at all? Hello,
that's what I'm saying. So we can't have it here and up there, no?
Hey, nice.
All right,
Everybody's
brilliant.
awake.
Right, okay.
Good.
Sorry.
I'm Neuropsych1, guys. This
No
is
problem.
RiverGirl21 here.
Cool.
To my right, we're going to show a quick video just as an introduction. A lot of people aren't familiar with our faces, but a lot of people are familiar with our work. So we're going to show you kind of what some of the stuff that we've done. It'll introduce some of us, and kind of you can see what people have worked on in the project. So.
On. Still setting up here.
It's showtime. A couple of spooksters, aren't you?
Hello, I'm Vinny. Nice to meet you guys.
That's his best side.
Yeah, beast mode. We're gonna wild out till the speakers blow. Gonna wild out till it's gonna wild out till it's gonna wild out till the speakers blow.
Yay!
I want to make sure he didn't shut me off. Okay, so as you saw, that's Vinny on the end.
Hi guys.
I think.
Cowan to Panda, or as we call him, Michael Byrne. Neuro and River. Okay, so that was just a little bit about what we do. We're going to kind of break into that for some of you. Our maps are not up for download, you'll see why. But we get a lot of people asking, can we see the map? Can we see what it looks like? Can we play it? Can we download it? And you, by the end of this, you will understand clearly why we can't do that. But we kind of wanted to start with, we put out a video and asked for questions before we came to the panel to see how we would format our panel. So we've kind of gone through a lot of those questions by formatting our panel that way. And then after we're done at 3 o'clock, if we don't get through everything, we'll be at the Microsoft stage from 3 to 4. So if you don't get a chance to ask questions or whatnot, you can follow us over and we'll be over there. Okay, so who are we? That's a big question we get all the time because obviously we don't do a lot of face videos. Everything we do is much more production. So we can walk around, nobody has any idea who we are, which I am really thankful for. I love it. We can actually come to events and enjoy them. And yet when you see our work, most people go, oh, you're those people. So that's cool with me, but who are we? So Neuro has kind of coined the idea that industrial grade Minecrafters. Because we really don't do, most of the YouTubers that you see here, there are a lot of Let's Plays. So that's kind of the typical YouTube Minecrafter. They do a lot of Let's Plays, they upload daily videos. Our videos take about 3 months to make. So it's not something we do regularly, but everyone on our channel knows that if there's a video coming out, that's what it is. So you can count on if there's a video there, you're gonna find either a preview for a coaster or a coaster. So, coasters, obviously. That's what we do first and foremost. We do have a PC server, a TEI, which is the Enchanted Isle. So I know a lot of people recognize us from there and not our coasters, but we kind of run both worlds. So we get asked a lot, like, why Xbox? And I will tell you all about why we build everything on Xbox versus PC. Foremost, we're parents. I know. Everybody goes, you're what? We have 4 kids at home. Neuro and I have 4 children. So these things take a while to make because, well, we run around with our busy lives and try to squeeze this stuff in for fun. This is kind of our fun thing to do. We get a lot of comments on our videos. Don't you guys have anything else you do in life? And I'm like, you have no idea. Our life is extremely full. This is our like nighttime fun, if you will. We built them for fun. So that's the next question everybody asks us. How did you get into YouTube? How did you get into making roller coasters? Are you busy? I was gonna let him take this, but he's like on his own little thing. You wanna get
Sorry,
into
we stole him.
Yeah, sorry. Vinny's excited because he just noticed that there's the new weather cycle option.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, it's so
He's
awesome.
like, yeah, he's just catching up on the updates. They're really cool, huh? I know, yeah. Okay.
Go and check that
Oh, hey,
daylight
cool.
cycle thing.
All right. Just a quick intro into how we do this. We have a big family, and people say, "Well, how do you have time to do this?" And I know you kind of covered this just a second ago, but we do have a really busy life. Really busy lives. We have children with some physical, special needs children, and so it makes it difficult for us to really find time. As a matter of fact, to that effect, we used to play a game called Gears of War, and it was kind of, our way to like get together, spend some time after we put the kids down, and get some aggression out. That was cool, and it was a really cool game. My son found Minecraft, and he showed it to us. And going from a game like any game really, Call of Duty, with really the graphics are just mind blowing. I took a look at Minecraft, and I was like, I don't know, like if I want to play this blocks, And it took just a couple of times of me playing this game to realize, oh my God, this is like just a
Just
big
put it on.
sketch pad.
Just put it on.
You could just do whatever you want. And
No.
it was over from that point on out. We started
No,
building
'cause they
some
want you off the
haunted
rest of our
houses for
stuff.
for
Only
our
the stuff
kids
you've
and their
done with
friends.
lights.
One thing led to another, and basically it turned into a queue line. This big haunted house turned into a queue line for a roller coaster, our first roller coaster that we built. And
Everything we've
we
done
have a
has
friend
been in
who
basic
is a
Minecraft.
YouTuber who saw it and said, you got to put this up online. So we said, what do you mean online? What does that mean? Put it on YouTube. What is this YouTube thing you speak of? Well, just put it up there. Oh, it's fine. So we put it up. We uploaded it. A month later, we checked back in, and apparently by then I had been dinner boned. If you guys heard that term before, I haven't, but apparently it's the thing, right? So Dinnerbone had tweeted out, that he saw the roller coaster, and after that point, it was just views and views and views we started getting. We realized, oh, hey, this is cool. Like, it's getting attention. Let's make another one. So we did the Beetlejuice one. When we did the Beetlejuice one, though, we thought, good, if we got people's attention, it'd be kind of a cool thing to shine a light on some of the disorders that, our children are dealing with. So River here runs an organization called the NF Family Foundation for families and children with, part of it, children with brain tumors. And so at the end of our videos, we always make sure to plug, the foundation just to spread awareness, because we didn't know about these disorders before. We thought it was a good way, since we got some attention, to kind of get the word out there. So that's kind of how it began, and it's turned into just this mega beast. and we do it for fun. It's really fun to do. What are we doing? Oh, guys, okay. So why we build on Xbox, right? So Minecraft, Xbox, and PC it's the same game, but really the mechanics are a little bit different. Obviously, we have to use a controller. It's not that one's better than the other, in my opinion. They're different, so you can't really compare the two side by side. So one of the reasons we build on the Xbox, not the PC, is because of their minecart mechanics. The minecart mechanics on the Xbox 360 console are smooth. They're not jittery at all. When the minecart turns, it does a little snap to the right, snap to the left. That doesn't happen on the PC. You know, when you turn a corner on a minecart on the PC, your character's head stays this way. And if it goes backwards, your character's still facing this way. That doesn't make sense. It's more dynamic, in my opinion, on the 360. The stop and goes are smoother. There's a number of things that are they lend themselves to a more dynamic look. And it's appreciated. It makes it so that we can force perspective and use the tricks that we're about to show you. It makes it easier to use. So that's the reason. Also, building, by the way, if anybody's built on PC, one of the really nice things that 4J has done is when you try to build a column straight up and down, right? You take the A button, you hit the left trigger, and you start building straight up, right? It's a column. You build up to build height. That doesn't happen on the PC. When you push the space bar and you start building upwards, you lay down 3 blocks, and then your character's moving too quickly. So you miss that last block. You got to come back down, and then place another block and start flying back up. Little things like that make a big difference. If you're just doing something small, cool. But when you're building these mega structures, every single block is placed by hand. And I was surprised earlier today at 4J Studios' presentation where they said that their team actually builds block by block. When you guys get mashup packs and stuff, their builders actually do what we do, which is build every single thing by hand. And if they mess up, we don't have world edit. We don't have the ability to say, oh, just cut and paste this over there. We have to build everything over again if we want it moved over 2 blocks. So if you have this huge structure, all of a sudden Neuro doesn't like it. Neuro might come to you and say, hey, Vinny, you know that big, huge, cool-looking pumpkin you built right there? I need you to move that.
Yeah, man. Just a few blocks.
Just a few blocks, though, so it's no big deal. Yep.
One of the other things that I wanted to say about building on Xbox that we've talked about a lot, and I'll let the guys answer kind of on their side, because when we put together a team, we'll talk about how we put together our teams for each coaster. It's not a build team. So we look at the project at hand, and then we find the people who have something that they can add to make what we're already doing even better. So these 2 guys, this is just part of our big team that we pull from, but they all came from Xbox as well. So I'll kind of give them a chance to answer that. But one of the things that we talk about a lot is there are a lot of different texture packs now coming out on the Xbox. Everything we build, we stick with the vanilla blocks. We don't build in the texture packs. And the reason we do that is really because it creates this camaraderie, I guess, where you kind of look at each other and you go, okay, this is all we have. So what are we going to do now? We've done this, we've done that. Where if you have the texture packs, it kind of gives you a little more option. So it's one of the reasons as well with PC. I find PC extremely overwhelming because there are so many options. Where this way we have a set of blocks and it really creates an out-of-the-box thinking. So we have to kind of play off each other and say, okay, all right, Vinny, we've done this. Like, what do we do now? So we look at the vanilla blocks. As they add blocks, thank you. As they add blocks, it's even better because that's all part of the same texture. So that's why we haven't built anything in any of the texture packs. It's always the vanilla blocks. I was going to ask, Vinny?
Yo.
Why do you build on Xbox? Why do you prefer to build on Xbox?
Because I do what you guys tell me.
So that's a good team member.
No, it's it's like, because we all get together as a team, it'll be like, right, what do you think can make this better? And like, we all just kind of pitch in and chuck in our own little like ideas and things like that. And between us come together with some kind of idea of what we want to do. And it's just fun more than anything. Like it isn't really a job, is it? It's more of like just a hobby, just a fun thing to do. Like, and we just all get together with this like amazing idea from these guys, and they're like, hey, we're going to do this, and we'll just all pitch together and do something amazing with it. Just have fun. That's what it's all about. Like, if you're not having fun while doing it, then there's no point in it. But we have such a laugh doing it, don't we, guys? And
I think
Yeah, it's a
with-
blast.
With Xbox, it's much a good introduction to Minecraft.
Can you guys hear Michael okay? Yeah? Okay.
Like with PC, there's so much to it. If I'd have started off on that, I don't think I would have got into it so quickly. This is a much simpler way of getting into it, much more easier to understand. And then you can get that bug, and then that's it. You're off, and you love it. So,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I do appreciate it. And one last thing about the default texture pack is that it's easily recognizable. So if anybody who plays PC or plays Pocket Edition or vanilla on Xbox, vanilla is instantly recognizable. And so instead of using texture packs, we think it's kind of cool when you can notice the fact that this is just default vanilla Minecraft that we're working with. So it makes it more relatable to people. Okay. Okay, so just quickly, we're going to cover the process of making these. They all start with an idea, and the beautiful thing about Minecraft is, and you guys know, people with kids are creative, right? And sometimes it's just a little thought, spark of that imagination that can trigger something like this. And for me, it was for this particular one, we just started watching Doctor Who, and I thought it was really cool. And I was literally taking my character, right, and just running across the field. And it struck me that I like the way it looks when they do the head bob. You know, I like that. It's simple, but it's cool. And so when we started the video, I thought to myself, how cool would it be like if you were the character, and you were in a spaceship and you were running down a hallway? It would look cool, And then you look back and there's these Daleks coming into the scene, It could be kind of scary. And then you would get in the minecart and jump down, and I imagine myself being the main character, going down. So Trust and the guys, we coordinate together, and when we started recording, they actually came and busted through the windows, and it literally scared me for real. Like in real life, I jumped. I was like, ah! And they're like, what's wrong with you? Nothing. Everything's fine. Just keep recording. Don't stop. Because you really get into it. Your imagination takes over. And for every scene, I want to be able to put people in that position. And that's the cool thing about this. Yeah, it may be blocks, but for that fraction of a second or that, a couple seconds that image is on the screen, you're there, and then you're being transported, whooshed off to some other direction. So the brainstorming is basically me just coming up with ideas. The team will get together on certain rooms, and we'll discuss what are the most important elements of this particular ride. Well, we know we want the Daleks in there. Cool. We know we want the Cybermen in there. Cool. So we'll have these rooms. Next thing you do,
sorry, you say Daleks, really weird.
the Daleks?
The Daleks?
Daleks.
Yeah, the Daleks.
Is it my accent? Yeah. Daleks. Fine. So we come up with these ideas together. But really, the thing is, it's really important for me to get the song first, because I got to know when the drops are in the music. I have to know when there's a dramatic point in the music, because at that dramatic point, I want to do a reveal. So you might have a scenario where you have the beat builds up, and I know that at 1 minute and 20 seconds in the song, there's going to be this bass drop. Cool. I want to be able to show you, an explosion or something, or Beetlejuice's eyes or something right there. And so we rig everything up and we time it so that it works together like that. So it's me coming out. It starts with the song. I get all the important parts down, and then the rest is building around that and timing. So, yeah. Outlines for scenes as in like the physical ones. Yeah, so one of the things about building on the Xbox, and you'll notice, guys, if you look at the screen right now, there's a lot of boxes up there, right? If someone said, want to ride this roller coaster, I'd say, where's the roller coaster? It's just a bunch of shoe boxes.
So many boxes.
Yeah. We do, and each one of those blocks is placed by hand, by the way. That's the other thing, again, no world edit. So every time you guys see a structure like this, every single block is placed by hand. And by the way, we didn't have super customizable flat worlds. So you see this grass that's up along here? That stuff ends up getting removed by hand, every block. So we actually go through and we remove them. Why do we do that? Because mobs spawn on grass blocks. And so we'll have a scenario where we're coming up to a spaceship, and all of a sudden you hear brrrr. It kind of takes you out of the moment. So we gotta, remove the grass blocks and get them out of our way. So And so what I'm saying is these blocks look boring from the outside, but when you actually get into the structures, we're basically kind of taking you and quarantining you and putting you in a room so that you can see some of the crazier stuff that we have on here. There we go. And we'll actually, while people are talking, I'll go through and continue to kind of show you guys what the inside of these boxes look like. But those are very time consuming for us. Sometimes we get volunteers to come in and just do the rooms. Yeah, just the black wool walls. Yeah. And so we're constantly building. And then, so I come up with the idea. I say, dude, this is going to be cool. Let's do this, you know? And then we'll build. Vinny goes in and he does something really cool. And then, like, I'll say, oh, dude, you know what you could do? You could put some, like, you know, lighting effect on that. And so I'll go in and change that. And then that gives him an idea. And Michael will, you know, say, oh, you know what, that gives me an idea. And then it just kind of builds on from there. And that's the beautiful thing about playing on Xbox Live, is that we have a community of people that can come together and get excited about this kind of stuff and spend time just building some really, really weird stuff. So, oh, and then quality control. River, that's her job. She comes in and says, not good enough.
Yeah.
She is evil. So it's got to be good.
She's quality control, man. Quality control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's call her quality control. Yeah, there you go. But she's really good about that, and I really rely on her for that stuff. And that's about that. No.
Okay, so Neuro has most of our maps up on this really cool program where you can actually like break in through the walls and stuff, which is amazing. And I can't figure out how to use it, so that's all on him. But before we wanted to do that, there's a few things that we get asked a lot. So we get a lot of questions on, I want to build a roller coaster. By the way, I think it's absolutely fantastic. As a team, when we come across a roller coaster, we all get together and watch it. So I think it's absolutely fascinating to see what people come up with. And so some people say, oh, you don't release your maps because you don't want people to know. And I'm like, no, not really. It's just you would look at our map and go, what is that? So we don't mind breaking into our maps and saying, okay, these are the things that you can take with you to go build your own coaster. We love to see that stuff. And so we get coasters all the time from like a 10-foot rail around like a pig pen. And we get all kinds of crazy stuff. But we love to see what you guys are coming up with. And when we look for, once we have an idea, when we look for our team members, we kind of have kind of a core group now where we will pick and choose and be like, okay, Vinny, we've decided you're doing this.
You just kind of found me. I just came and like, hi.
Yeah, we brought him on one time, and he's kind of been our resident redstoner, as Neuro calls him. And so we kind of look at what we want to do. Neuro is great at going out and watching videos. So everybody we've brought onto our team, they've always been really small channels. Because these channels, when we first saw what Vinny was doing, him and Kyle were just doing some amazing stuff. And what'd you have, 12 subs, Vinny?
Oh yeah, it was. I'd say it was more like, at least 13. Like,
13. So basically, Neuro saw a video that was put out, and it was just this crazy video, but what they did in this video was amazing. So Neuro's like, we gotta have those guys. So we always go to them and they're going, you want me? And I'm like, yes, what you're doing is amazing. So we really do get a lot of our ideas by watching videos that are out there and plucking those people and saying, okay, you may not have a lot of subs, but that is an amazing idea. I want to bring you in, and then I want you to make it huge. So we really do go out into the community and look for those people who just have some unique idea. Sometimes it's just a glitch. I think we try not to let 4J know about the glitches because then they fix them for us. But
we need
yeah.
those glitches.
We really do. We break into some of these things, and Neuro will just happen to notice something or see it in a video where someone will go, oh, did you know you can't see ice behind ice? Really? What can we do with that? So we always take those little glitches and try to break them into something we can use. So we use a lot of the render distance. I know a lot of people say, oh, the render distance on the 360 is horrible. Every video we've done is on the 360, but we've used that render distance to our favor. So we just take that and go, okay, it's not a glitch. It's something we can use to do something that nobody else is gonna think about. So I highly recommend you think outside of the box instead of like tweeting to 4J, this is awful, just take it. We're watching you guys tweet to 4J saying, fix this. And we're going, no, wait, give us like 3 more
Don't fix
months. Don't fix it yet. And they did that once to us. This Doctor Who coaster we had to redo because they fixed some glitches.
The speed of carts.
Yeah, it was their fault, so I'm blaming you for that. But yeah, we really do. We're like, okay, it's a race against the clock. You guys are waiting for the updates, and we're hoping that they don't come back.
That 1
That's
month
horrible
was so
to say,
awful.
right? But we do. We really build our coasters around those glitches that we can do. So Neuro's kind of, this is the night rail.
Oh, Night Rail.
Railbusters.
Oh, Railbusters.
So, yeah, Railbusters. See, I'm even getting them confused now. So this is Railbusters. Neuro kind of broke into it for you, and then after we take a quick look, I think we're only going to spend like a couple minutes on each so you can see, and then I'm going to have the guys show you exactly how you can do some of these really simple tricks. You'll look at it and go, oh, why didn't I think about that? Because they really are simple. Nobody's thought out of that box yet. So I'm going to let Neuro break into it, and then those two will kind of show you some quick tips you can use. We'll try to grab some questions, and if not, we'll meet you at the Microsoft stage, okay?
Cool. Okay, so we do this a lot, guys. It's, well, here's the thing. Can you guys do me a favor? Take your finger, right, and just put it out in front of you. Okay, so, and as a matter of fact, cover up my head with it. My big old head, right? And then close your eye, right? So you have just one eye, and you're kind of covering my head with it, right? Okay? Now, while you're doing that, close the eye and open the other eye, but keep your finger perfectly still, okay? Am I still behind that finger? I shouldn't be, right? Because you switched your eyeball, and all of a sudden your finger's no longer covering my head, right? Okay, so that's perspective, right? It depends on your perspective as to whether or not something is visible or not. It's really that principle that we use on a lot of these coasters. So with the minecart, I can control where you are, where the person is looking at. So I can say, you're going to be the right eyeball, right, and not the left one, and that's where I need you to be at this point in time. If I can do that, then we can do things like this, where we have this layered effect, right? And as long as you're standing in the right position at the beginning of this track right here, and that's where we do the reveal, we have pistons that kind of open up, and when they open up, you see what looks like just a regular Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. As you drive forward, that perspective changes, and it looks like he's kind of blowing up around you as you're traveling through it. And this is what it looks like from the side. And I think this is kind of a valuable way to look at it because you can see that we're layering. Now, the way we do this, there's a really cool guy who did videos. His name is The Old Man on YouTube. And he had a video that showed something similar to this. And he did the Minecraft name, kind of like we did at the beginning of this panel where the MINECON thing kind of blew off. We did the same thing in reverse. He had a really complicated system for doing it that included math, and yeah, so I was like, oh my God, I don't want to do equations. This is not okay. So what I did is River Girl here would sit here in the exact position that I needed her to be in when we did the reveal. And on her television screen, I could see what the viewer was going to see, okay? Then what I would do is I would actually go over here and build layers. And while I'm flying around building all these different layers, and by the way, you see this black wool on the outside here? That's an outline of the character, okay? 4J Studios was doing this earlier today, and they demoed how they built it was a Colossus, I think, right? Was it? It was a huge statue. Same principle, it's pixel art. So I do the outline first, the one that's furthest away, okay? That gives me my template. As long as I stay within that template, that outside line, from this point of view, then I'm okay. The rest is just covering up all the in-between layers and sort of just putting them off to a distance. Now, it always depends on what the actual pixel art is as to how you layer it out. That's up to you guys. The important part is to know that if you have one point of view here, you can do whatever you want over there. Doesn't matter what it looks like. It looks like nothing right now, right? But when you fly through it, you're using perspective to your advantage. And take the principle of it, okay? It doesn't matter that you can't build this. You can if you really wanted to. It's not, impossible. But I think the magic happens in here. So, kids, folks, perspective. Remember that. And force perspective, yeah. So that's a quick one. I'd really like for the guys to go into some of the lighting stuff. Yeah? Okay, cool. Can we get the Xbox on the screen, please?
Oh, Mike, do you want to do yours first, or do you want me to do mine first?
You might have to. Oh yeah.
Oh, wait. Sorry, buddy.
Perfect. So Vinny will go first. You
I'm
got
going
it.
first. Sorted. There we go. We all hooked up? Oh no. Tap the button.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it's all, man. Can you sign back in? Can we turn this back over for a second? Yeah. Can you sign back in, Nero? We need to turn off the screen when we...
While
yeah.
they do that,
Sorry guys,
Today-
technical difficulties signing in here.
today this Xbox is just not. If any of you were here earlier, that was Microsoft who brought us an Xbox and said, "Here, this is yours." That was not ours.
Oh, brilliant. There you go.
So I had to run back and go, "That wasn't our Xbox." So yeah, so it's been a little complicated. Anyway, while they do that, while they get that up and running, some of the questions that I think we addressed a lot of the questions that were asked because we did kind of make our panel
How'd
around
you
those
load up all your-
questions.
load up all your game saves?
But one of the questions
Cetera.
that keeps coming up is, when is a new coaster going up?
Doesn't save what you just built.
I promise there's
Save what
one
you just
coming.
built.
We have
Yeah,
some
I think so.
amazing projects that we're working on right now. So our little fun coasters
yeah,
have
sign
kind
out
of
and then sign
become
out. Sorry, man.
something that's being spread out a little bit. So we're actually working on something right now for the Tate Modern. That will also be at the Latitude Festival next week, which we haven't started yet because we're here. So we're working on that. We also have another opportunity that just came up that I'm really excited about, but I
Just gonna
can't
come up.
tell you. So we have that's two projects, and then we're actually in the process of getting a new coaster just for us. So we have 3 projects. Normally, they all take 3 months apiece, and we have to have all 3 of them done in the next 3 months. So they are coming. There will be next week. The one that we're doing for the Latitude Festival there will be a preview for that up hopefully next week, since they're showing it next week. And then you guys will kind of get some ideas as they come up. We'll try to put out as many kind of preview videos as we can, but I promise that there are some coming.
Hi.
Have you sorted yourself?
Sorry? Trying to sort this out.
Okay.
Everybody don't.
Turn around.
Yeah.
Can I get the laptop screen for a second, please?
Okay, the other question that
pull the
people
HDMI
ask is,
cable
are you
out,
going to
only the
start
HDMI.
posting some of the tricks on your channel?
Bam.
Plug it back.
We have thought about doing some tutorials. There
Wasn't
are
there one for
a
that?
few tutorials on the channel. However, we have a very unique audience, and what we found out is
Cheers.
that
Wow, you got it.
if we
Cheers, buddy.
post anything other than an actual coaster project, we lose subscribers. So we have a very unique channel, and we now have, which we're going to launch this week, which will be the Neuro and River channel, and that will be like etc. videos, so that we can keep our roller coaster subscribers happy without losing them, and we can also still have tutorials available for you guys to see. So we'll be posting up, I'm sure there'll be a video that'll go up on the channel. We have a few channels now. So the River Girl channel is now, I'm attempting to do Let's Plays. That's not gonna go well, but we'll see. So we've got the River Girl channel, the Neuropsych channel, and then there'll be a new one called Neuro and River. Those will be the tutorials. Wow, you guys are really,
It's not our fault. It's not always the way.
I'm
Yeah, sorry about
blaming
this,
you,
guys. You
Vinny.
will get up and running once it loads up.
I usually blame Vinny. When it's something that goes wrong, it's Vinny.
Just me and Mike are going to take you through a couple of little tricks that we use, like light and effects, a couple of tiny little redstone things we use, like just to give you guys a little hint of ways you can light up rooms. For instance, like lighting is a hard issue because obviously you've only got torches or a glowstone. So Mr. Mike here will go through a lot of the glowstone stuff he does to make it look really cool, like some of the coaster stuff we saw earlier. And just going to take you through a couple of little redstone things we use. The stop and go, for instance, where you stop the cart and then it carries on. Just little fun things just to hype up the little roller coaster or whatever you guys are doing, if we can ever get it to load.
Yeah, we're having internet issues apparently, so it's not loading.
Load,
So
please.
we'll just work with it.
Yeah,
They're
we'll just
used
roll,
to that.
roll with the punches. It's cool.
Yeah, our team is used to that. So I think we're going to build in the rain. We're building in the rain.
That's the wrong controller.
No, he's gonna show the Union Jack. So.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're just going to skip the Xbox, and you're going to pretend that we're building on Xbox right now because it's still loading the profile. Yeah, it's a Wi-Fi thing. Can't do much about that. So we're just going to pretend that it's the
Controller.
Xbox,
Controller.
and they're going to try to show you some of the stuff that we do. Come on, Vinny, get it together.
Oh, don't even no. Just no.
Leave it up to
Right.
Vinny. It's all Vinny. I always blame Vinny. Let's see. I'm trying to think if we haven't answered any questions.
There we go. Right. I'm not sure this is.
Oh my
Yeah.
word.
So we first saw. It's been described as a glitch where you put glowstone behind stairs and it gave it a faint little glow. And I really hope that glitch never gets taken out, because if it does, I've got nothing to offer you anymore. So I'll just be a token guy. And from that,
No, not yet. We got to sign
you
back.
can get these really sharp, bright colours. Knock out, if you put the glow stuff that back in there, they really pop out, and you can do all kinds of things with them. So, working with people who have got a better understanding of redstone, like Vinny here, and these two here can see about perspective and stuff, and how things work. The camera angles that you use, with the minecart that's what's really intriguing, is the effects you can get, the optical illusions that you can get, and work it in with the lighting things as well. So if you could do one thing and then somebody else can come in and say, actually, I can do this, and you think, oh God, that's so much better, right? And that's exactly what happens every time we're building something. I'll build something and then somebody builds something much better.
Just having a game of pass the controller.
Is it working now?
Right, you carry on, mate.
It's inverted. I don't have to move it around. Can you do it with the controller?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Remember mouse.
Yeah, you move it around.
Pass it to Vinny. He'll be able to do that.
What am I doing?
There you go.
What am I doing?
Explaining.
We're just going to keep
Explaining,
passing
am I?
things
Meaning of
down
life.
Okay,
until someone
sorry
comes.
guys, there's something wrong with the Xbox, just not giving us any love. Ooh, that stuff over there.
You got it.
Dun, dun, dun. There we go. Sorry guys. Right. Oh, you have an inverted mouse. Oh, thank you very much, sir. It's exquisite. Alright guys, just taking you through some of the name tags and stuff we did with some of the lighting effects. So obviously Mike's done this one here, and you can see that it's got obviously the bad wolf all in writing, but yet you've got the ceiling lit up as well. Oh, a bit of
The way
flag.
it's filmed, it's like the flag drops in. isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
So as you can see from the top, you've got like all these sides lit. Just little things that Mike will take you through in a little bit.
But the way it makes it look like it comes down flat, doesn't it? The way it's
Yeah.
filmed.
Makes it look flat. I need to find the rooms.
Because you filmed that one, didn't you? But I thought that's quite good. And then like one of the way it comes in. As well. Yeah.
It's getting used to this inverted mouse.
So we're going to do the Doctor Who logos in
Yes.
chronological order.
Where are they? They're up here, aren't they?
I think so.
I think it's
No.
up here.
Over that way.
That way.
Do you know where the logos
that way.
are on that map?
Sorry guys, it's been so long.
You're right, Vinny.
It's okay, don't panic, it's cool. Because basically when we're building the coasters, they'll give us like a little section. You live on that section for a couple of weeks. Move to the next section, live on that section for the next couple of weeks.
Then you get sectioned.
Get sectioned. Can't get used to this.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun. Build on it.
Right, so, these little contraptions down here, like, so even though in the video you'll see us like come along, stop, turn around, carry on, go another way, it isn't as simple as that. Obviously you have to work out a little mechanism for it. So just have a play around with redstone, play around with rail, because like rail can be moved about, it can be pushed around, you can do some amazing stuff with rail. Just think outside the box. So like for instance here, you've just got like, that repeater will detect a rail, will set off that, etc., and then replace it with that rail, and it starts to become a little complicated. So you start to get like a little idea of just how hard it is just to be able to get Nero to be able to turn the right way and see things the right way, things like that.
It's all in one shot as
Yeah,
well.
and it's all in one shot. And I cannot find the logos. Oh, you got them? Yay! We got Xbox back. Take this away.
As you can tell, they're not PC
And your
builders.
backwards mouse. Thank you, sir.
Can we get the Xbox? Thanks.
Yeah, just switch them over, yeah? Sorry about all the fiddliness, guys. Mike's live.
No, they're
Go, Mike, go. Oh, no, that's PC. No, it's Xbox. Oh, no, it's the PC? No, there we go.
There we go. Oh, I didn't lose it.
Yeah.
We're online.
So I'll hand over to Mike to take you through a couple of little lighting things we do, because Mike does some incredible things with lighting, and he just came to us, and here he is.
So this was what I originally saw, was somebody had a staircase, and I noticed that this little glow that you get from the block there. So the glowstone goes behind the stairs, and you put that there, and then this block here interested me, that lit up. If you put the gamma down really low, then they really pop out. But from that, you can get all sorts of different colours and different things, and with the help of Vinny to make things move around, you get that colour right in the top block, just there, if I didn't do that.
So even though that might seem simple right there, guys, if you just turn to the circles, mate, just to show them what you can do.
Yeah,
There you go.
So
So
you can
that
evolve
tiny
them.
little block can turn into something amazing if you just think about it, you know?
So with that glowstone there and the stair there, take the carpet away, you don't get the glow, but then just that little slither is enough. And you can get, we haven't got that one on it, when they pop
Pick
in. Yeah.
block, 4J.
Down.
Pick block.
There you go.
It's there somewhere. So boom, there you get that there. So, and you can have those, so when you drop, you can only see them from above. So as you come down, the colours will disappear. Or you can have them when the coaster comes up, they just start popping up as you go along. So there's all kinds of different ways to do that. But having somebody who can help with the camera view is so important, isn't it? It makes the, well, I'd build something then realise that was all horribly wrong, and that you have to build the track first. Otherwise you have to knock it all down, and it's really disappointing after 8 hours work, and it's not going to work. Yeah, so with the stairs here, obviously you've got two glowstone blocks there, and you can get all kinds of different shapes. As long as the glowstone is behind it, then you'll get those lights. And then with redstone, I've only just made these quickly, just that you can get things to flash, move around. That's where Vinny comes in. I just say, I want this to do something, and then Vinny just does it.
I'll do that for you, mate, no worries.
He even wastes his time trying to explain it to me how he does it. So I don't want to know, Vinny. Just make it do that. And you can get all kinds of lighting effects. So from them, the gamma has to be down low to get them. You can get these effects. So this was just playing around with this one, using different things. Eventually that was, where was that? Where the big devil head thing was? Yeah. Where was that? Over here. I think I know where the signs are. The signs are here. Yeah.
There we go.
To the left over there are the, you want to talk about the signs that you guys mean?
Yeah, so these are the Doctor Who logos that we looked at. There was, I don't know how many there were. We didn't use all of them, did we? We just selected a certain few of them.
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, one of the main
I'm going to
focuses
navigate
when we were doing
Michael Byrne, because we're running out of time. With the technical issues that we had today, we're going to cut it a little bit short. But I do want to, it would be not cool if you guys didn't see like the amount of work that these guys do, that we all do, with simple things like signs, okay? So, you know,
It's black and white, that one.
yeah,
wasn't
so this is one scene here. It's just a black and white logo. And we thought, okay, well, we could just build a black and white logo, and there's Doctor Who. But it's not. If you guys have ever seen the intro, there's like a waviness to it. There's sort of like,
Shading's all
there's
important.
shadows and stuff in there, you know? And so even though it's not on screen for very long, we do want it, we don't just want to make it look like we built it real quick. I mean, we actually do put a lot
That's
of work
a lot of
into
work for half a second.
it is,
video.
and one of our things is we don't like for light to be showing, light sources to be showing, because I think it takes you out of the moment.
I hate most.
And so there are torches behind these things that light up. So you know the
But
light.
strategically as well to create the.
That's
you know,
right.
Too many, it's too
Yeah,
much.
and they're not just placed like we place down a bunch of blocks and that's that. They're actually placed strategically to give it sort of a a specific look. Like here, there's
And when you
they're
spend 8
spread
hours
out
doing
so that
that,
we can
it
use the
needs to be
shadows to our
pointed out.
advantage and give it kind of like a little bit of a wavy look, you know. So that's that one. So you can see just black and white. Well, you know, it's not just black and white because you can always use the shadows to your advantage. And that's the thing about the Xbox console is that you have a set of tools to work with. It's not command blocks, but you don't need those to make, you know, interesting things. You just need to know these are my resources. This is what I can do with them. And a perfect example is lighting. So he's going to show you a couple more builds that they've done here with the
A lot of
logos.
the Doctor Who logos are fairly simple anyway. They weren't overcomplicated. But this was my favourite one, showing my age here. I think this is John Pertwee.
Now, bearing in mind, guys, these were all sparked from like tiny little ideas that were like just dotted around the map. So like Mike did this logo in, well, it was a couple of hours the one day. And
yeah, let's say a couple
Nero
of hours.
come in and was like, I love it. I really want you guys to like elaborate on that. So Mike just made this phenomenal logo. And then we're like, well, let's use it. And then just started making like all the rest of the logos then, didn't
But
we?
with, like, you do sketches around the edge, don't you? Start to build something. Just think, go see where you come to, and then if you want to put it in there, you've got to rebuild it all over again, where actually Neuro
Yeah.
wants it. So he goes, yeah, that's great. I really like it, but I don't want it there. I want it there.
Yeah, the guys will do that. They'll build things off to the side and use little principles, and then if they're cool, then we go ahead and rebuild it on the main roller coaster. So that's that.
I don't know, that was a Sylvester McCoy one.
All right, guys. You know what? I'm going to show you one thing before we go because we wasted a lot of time on this. But it would be kind of cool if you guys took this home. This little trick that we do with eyes to make eyes move. So you guys can go back and do your builds and show off to your friends, like, you know, that you can make eyes move.
Do you wanna
Mike doesn't want to give it
start
up.
playing? just ignore me.
While Nero was finding this, guys, I don't know if a lot of you play on Xbox or anything like that. Some great resources we use is a website called Plots. That's Plotz. And basically on that website, you can spawn like circles, spheres, things like that. And then you can actually build it block for block, layer by layer. So if you're having trouble building a sphere,
It's a blueprint.
circle, ovals, toruses, anything like that, you can actually go onto the site, type in the radius of what you need, etc., and it'll give you it layer by layer, so you can actually go through it then and like build it. It's a bit harder than it sounds, but it's such a useful resource.
All right, guys. So here's a little thing there's a ratio that I use. When you're going to do eyes on a character, it can't be any smaller than 3 blocks by 3 blocks to get that effect of, you know, something actually moving around. Now remember, this doesn't move at all, right? It's not moving at all. It's when your character moves that you actually get the illusion that things are moving around. So this is just, if you could pretend for a second, that's a eyeball socket. Yeah, wow, right? Amazing.
Definitely is.
Yeah. But it's really that simple. Like you take that, right? And how many blocks are we back? So we have a block here, space here. So this 1, 2, the third block back should be where you place your eyeball. Okay. Now, it's really like that simple, guys. So
It's a
you
camera
notice
work
when you
again.
you notice when you move your camera back and forth, right? So it's really, really, really that easy, you know.
It's all about perspective,
It
man.
is. Everything is perspective. Now, nobody's, you know, this is not moving, but you can imagine the whole scenario where you have like a room full of characters with, you know, glaring at you, and as you're walking through, they're just kind of like eyeballing you as you walk across, you know. But that's the formula you guys should use when you go back home. It's always 3. So do 3 blocks all the way around, 3 by 3, and then space it out so that this dude is the third block back. And then from that point on out, just let your imagination run with it, okay? And the last thing I want to say real quick is YouTube. You guys, don't be afraid to post videos of Michael Byrne here. The reason I know about him is because he took his cell phone and he recorded himself on his TV. So here's his TV, and he's recording, you know, some lighting glitch that he found. Okay, it was maybe a minute long, and he uploaded it. Somebody sent it to me, and I was locked in. I'm like, that's cool. It's not about the quality of the video. It's not about, you know, the sound effects or anything like. It's the ideas, guys.
The quality
you guys
of the
have
content.
amazing ideas, yeah, and you do, especially with these resources. It forces you to think outside and use your resources. Don't worry about whether it's a spectacular video. Show your ideas, share them, because I always reference back to those videos still. You know, I go back to watch the old man's videos every once in a while for inspiration. And you never know who might be watching one of your videos. In my example, I was completely blown away that before J Studios had even noticed my video, and here I am today, you know. But it's thanks to people like you guys who are uploading just little ideas that people like me take, people like us have fun with, and get together and make incredible things for people to see. Okay?
Yeah.
Guys, we're going to be at the Microsoft booth later on today. Now, actually. So if anybody has any
5
questions we
minutes
didn't get to answer, we'll be over there. You guys are free to come pick up a controller, explore the maps, go look around, see what you can find. There's all kinds of crazy stuff on the exterior of the maps, you know, that we build. They're just little experiments that you guys can fool around with. And thank you guys for having us at MINECON.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Cool, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Just in case.
I want to do my Madonna impersonation. Yeah, hang on. Don't go.